Good morning to the people who are listening to me. I thank you very much, the organization, for the invitation, for the very kind invitation. Here I will present my last work, which I am making with my colleagues. My name is Claudio Verzegnassi, and I am the president of AMEC, M-A-E-C, Association for Complex Medicine and Complexity. And now I will talk to you about the connection between stress and cancer.
Sorry, Claudio. I will. Sorry for my false pronunciation of your name. Please, you can use the screen of your presentation.
Yes.
Sorry, I forgot to share.
Thank you. You can begin now.
Okay. So I will talk about analogies between stress and cancer, considering whether there is a possible magnetic quantum field theory connection. Now, the connection between stress and cancer, there are several reliable investigations which already exist. For instance, there is one of more than 10 years old, which says the clinical studies over the past 30 years have provided strong evidence for links between chronic stress, depression, and social isolation, and cancer progression. There is another one from the Italian Foundation on Research on Cancer, which asks the question, does stress produce cancer? And their answer is no. Available data do not show that stress can be a direct cause of cancer. However, evidence of chronic stress.
Sorry, please, can you turn on the slideshow active?
Can't you see the slideshow?
We can see the slides, but the slideshow mode, it's not appears.
I didn't get you. You can see the slideshow, but?
No, we can see only the slides and the slide that Dr. Claudio talking about,
Yeah.
but we need to see only the slide in slideshow mode.
It's in presentation. You want to see that? You want to see the other slides? Like this? No, I didn't get you.
There are an option about the slideshow that can we see the slide one by one?
Yes. You can't see the slides one by one. Hold on.
You see all of them.
Now, you see all of them. And now?
I'm waiting.
Because on our screen, there is only one.
Okay. It's not same for us.
Oh. I stop the sharing of the screen and start again. Maybe it will go better. Just a second.
Okay, now it's going better. You can.
I did exactly the same things, but now it worked. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay, so now like this. Okay.
Sì.
Sì, ma non c'è niente.
Stai parlando di lei.
Sì. So There is the next statement that stress, they say, does not produce cancer. Available data do not show that stress can be a direct cause of cancer. However, high levels of chronic stress may indirectly favor cancer birth and diffusion. Then there is another one by Cancer Research. Question: can stress cause cancer? The best quality studies have followed up many people for several years. They have found no evidence that those who are more stressed are more likely to get cancer. Then we have another by Michele Perego, 21. Studies suggest a link between stress and cancer coming back. And the final statement by Annabelle Eckeling and her group. Stress and cancer are interlinked. Stress can facilitate cancer progression. However, available clinical evidence for such deleterious effect is inconsistent. Now, in conclusion, my conclusion is that a connection between stress and cancer seems to exist. This cannot be denied. However, it is not clear in which way this connection works. First possibility, does stress generate cancer? Second possibility, does cancer generate stress? Now, our group has decided to look for a magnetic connection between stress and cancer. That connection could be deduced from the study of the magnetic field effects on people affected either by stress or by cancer or by both. Now, the group is composed of the following people. There has been a rather big problem that the medical doctor Fabio Burigana and the technician Andrea Vibobla are now both under COVID. So the work has been stopped and it has been shifted. The beginning of our work has been shifted to the beginning of December. I'm very sorry about that. So I have no new figures to show. I can tell you anyway, what type of magnetic effects are we considering? Well, we consider the effect of a magnetic field on the arm muscles of a human being. The experiment. Now let me tell you what the experiment was. You take a person and you make the person sit on a chair, and then the person has an arm which is horizontal, and one measures the force which is necessary to pull the arm down to the chair and measures it. And next, one measures the same force applying a positive pole on the deltoid muscle and measures the new force. And then one places third measurements an opposite pole. For instance, if you put first a positive, then you put a negative on the muscle, and you make the third measurement of the force which is necessary to pull the arm down. Now, what happens? You see the participants are connected to the machine, to the apparatus, and this is very professionally made. And then the force required to move the arm. The force is measured in newtons, and you measure the force, the peak and the duration. Now, let me show a typical result of experiment here. In red, you see what is the effect of a positive pole. First, without magnet, you see that the force has a certain value in newtons. And then the second time, applying the positive, you see that there is less force necessary. If the force necessary is less, it means that the muscle has become weaker because you need less force to pull it down. And this, in the second case with the opposite pole, you see that the force the second time is required is bigger, which means that the effect has been to reinforce the muscle. You need more force to pull it down. So you see that the effects of the two poles are opposite. So the magnetic effect changes sign if the magnet is inverted. Now, why this happens? Because the field interacts with the fourth component of the body water, which is the one which is fourth phase, which has been called by Gerald Pollack EZ water exclusion zone. Now, this EZ water, which surrounds the muscle, has several important properties. One of its important properties is that it contains a large quantity of nearly free electrons, which can easily become free. So this is the description of the four phases of the water. And you see what happens, what is the description, how you can see this EZ water. If you put water close to another hydrophilic substance, I see at where the water touches the substance, it spreads itself and throws away from it all the other substances. So it is really an exclusion water. Now, what happens? What one knows, what finds, is that our muscles are completely surrounded by EZ water, and therefore they are completely surrounded by the nearly free electrons that it contains. And so, conclusion: the magnetic field effect on the arm muscles can consequently be described as the effect on the nearly free electrons on the EZ water that surrounds the muscles. Now, this effect has been computed using the prescription of quantum field theory, following the description of a notebook by Michael Pesker and Daniel Schroeder. So you study the effect which a magnetic field has on a set of electrons, and you apply. This is described and can be computed by quantum field theory. Now, in fact, you can find a very detailed description in this paper, which is rather not very new, but reasonably recent. Magnetic effect on the polarization parameters of free electrons in quantum field theory, written by myself with my colleague Roberto Germano. Now, what is the main result? Well, the main result, which is explained by quantum field theory, is that the magnetic field changes the total energy of the electron state. And this is change proportional to the product of the field intensity with a new electron parameter called polarization index pi, which in this case replaces what was the spin of the electron in the old quantum mechanics treatment. Here, the effect of the magnetic field is the product of the field with this polarization index parameter, which is not the spin, it is related to the spin anyway. Now, this is a preliminary basic result which has been obtained. The magnetic effects on the arm muscles of fellows with either stress or cancer are both opposite to the effects on healthy people. So there seems to be, in a sense, in an immediate consideration that this allows to conclude that there must be a magnetic connection between stress and cancer, because the reaction to the magnetic field is similar and it's opposite to the reaction which one finds with healthy people. So there must be a magnetic connection. Now, to investigate the nature of the supposed connection, our group has developed a specific project, which is based on the experimental detection of magnetic effects involving 4 sets of living persons, which is number 1, healthy persons, second group, persons affected by stress, third group, persons affected by cancer, and fourth group, persons affected by both stress and cancer. So in the project, as you see, there are 4 operations which are involved. Now, let's say the first 3 operations, which must be performed very seriously, very professionally. The first one, to measure the magnetic effect on healthy person, to verify, to check that it remains of the same sign. So that, for instance, if the magnetic effect strengthens one healthy person, does strengthen all the healthy person which you consider. Second measurement operation is to measure the magnetic effect on persons affected only by stress, second group. And this is extremely important because it implies an operation of relaxation which you apply to the person. You measure the magnetic effect on the person, and then you apply a relaxation to the person, which is extremely important operation, and you verify whether and how much the stress has decreased. And the third operation is to measure the magnetic effect on person affected by cancer. And here again, you have to verify that for all persons affected by cancer, the magnetic effect is always opposite to the effect on healthy persons. However, the new fundamental operation, which is different from the three previous one, is to measure the magnetic effects on persons who are affected by both stress and cancer. Now, the basic idea is the following. Two different scenarios can appear. The first one, increased stress, increasing cancer. Otherwise said, decreased stress, decreased cancer. It's the same thing. Second scenario, increased cancer, increases stress. Or decreased cancer, decreased stress. These are the two possibilities. Now, one of the two scenarios is the correct one, and we are looking for, and we want to find which is the correct one. Now, the identification of the correct scenario is the main part of the project. For instance, one possible final procedure which we shall follow could be to consider a person with both stress and cancer and make the person to relax through a relaxation technique to be performed by the psychological components of the group. I insist on the relevance, on the great relevance of the relaxation, which is extremely important, not only in this case, but in general, because it allows you to decrease, for instance, the stress with some relaxation. And all the relaxation group is working very professionally on this technique. So you consider this person which has both stress and cancer and make the person to relax. So after the relaxation, which has to be repeated for a number of days, for instance, 21 days of relaxation for this person. Now, after as a result of this relaxation, repeated relaxation, the stress level of the person should decrease in a known way. So what you have now for the person, now you want to measure the overall magnetic effect on the person which you are considering, which will be now due to two causes, the new supposedly known new stress and the cancer level which was there before. And now you can find two results. For instance, if the new magnetic value which you find were exactly the one which would be caused by the new stress level and by the previous cancer level, one could conclude that the level of stress has decreased without decreasing the cancer level. The conclusion would be stress does not produce cancer. It can be decreased without changing the cancer level. But there is another possibility, and another possibility is that the new magnetic value could be different from the one caused by the new stress and by the previous cancer level. It would correspond in this case, if it were smaller, it would correspond to a smaller cancer level contribution. Now, one could conclude then that the level of stress has decreased, decreasing also at the same time cancer level. So we would say that stress produces cancer. We don't know what we shall find. Experimental measurements have just started. As we say, they should start, in fact, at the beginning of December, because we have, as I said, we have suffered the recent COVID sickness of Fabio, the doctor, Brigana, and also of the technician, Andrea. Before the song, we have, at the moment, I excuse, I have no figures to show you. I will have figures waiting for the new possible magnetic answers. Our group is very active and hopeful since the expected time length of a statistically meaningful measurement is expected to be of at least 1 year. In fact, we might expect also 2 years, which means that starting on the 1st of December, as I hope, we should be ready here somewhere to produce new results after at least 1 year. What shall we find? Well, we are optimistic. We think that we shall, all the people of the group have different opinions and hopes. For instance, there are some people who say, well, it will be certainly stress which produces cancer. Other people will say, no, it will be the opposite. We don't know, but we shall find what happens, and we are very strong and optimistic, because we know that the result is extremely relevant for us, so it is important. And since it is important, as we say in Italy, if they are roses, they will bloom. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Claudio. We are waiting your question now.